Doc Dredd here. Thank you, Jacob, for having me on your show. And just let me introduce myself a little bit and tell you what I do. So, Dr. Dredd is a character, and he originated when I was a home haunter. I used to do a haunted backyard at Halloween time. And since then, we've moved, we don't have foot traffic, but my new hobby is doing movie reviews, and I do it in the style of a horror host from like the 70s, Zachary, if you will. Everybody has their favorites. In each major city had one. My horror host growing up was Dr. Shock, and that's sort of where I got the inspiration for this. So I do movie reviews. I've also hosted a few movies under the title of Swamp Theater, and I show trailers. So I have a show called Doc's Trailer Park. A couple of these shows can be seen on the Monster Channel, www.themonsterchannel.com. And once again, thank you for having me on. How did I get into horror movies? I think I grew up in front of a television set. And as I said, my horror host growing up was Dr. Shock. And I remember Dr. Shock, he was on Saturday afternoons, a time when a 5-year-old, an 8-year-old could be in front of the TV set, and Mom and Dad had no problem with it. I think that's when I first fell in love with horror movies. They scared me at that age. And the one that really sticks out in my mind at the time was Dracula from 1931, Bela Lugosi. And I don't know, I was drawn in. And you look at it now, it's really not a scary film. The dialogue is very stilted, and the lack of music, I don't know. But at that time, I think that's when I fell in love with it. So, what started my fascination with horror? And I think it's just that I grew up watching those movies. The Shock package was released to different cities, and horror hosts were all over the place. So I grew up on Saturday mornings. It was cartoons in the morning, and then right around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I believe it was, Dr. Shock would come on, and he would have those great Universal classics, all those old black and white films, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman. And I remember being afraid of the movie Dracula. I remember watching the movie, and then at every commercial break, I would run out to the kitchen, make sure my mom was out there, that everything was safe with the world. Once I knew that everything was good, I would run back in front of the TV set in time for the next installment of the movie. What is my favorite horror movie of all time? I find it really hard to pin down an exact answer to that. A lot of it would be the mood that I'm in on any particular day. If I'm feeling silly, it might be Bride of the Monster, an Ed Wood classic. If I'm in a more serious mood, it might be Silence of the Lamb. Or if I'm in the mood for something, more, supernatural, it could be Nightmare on Elm Street. But I find it hard to really nail down a favorite of all time. I'm a big fan of the genre, horror genre, and there are so many different subgenres to horror, whether it be psychological, supernatural, or big-eyed monsters, a lot of science fiction. So I'm sorry, I can't give an answer to that. It would really depend on my mood in any given day. So my show is Dr. Dredd Reviews. And I have a co-host. It's a puppet. and my co-host is a rat-bit. Half rat, half rabbit. He's a creature that I concocted, out of DNA and genetic material and a bit of my DNA also. So he can talk, and it gives me somebody to banter back and forth with about whatever movie we're reviewing.
Hey, Doc.
Hey,
We wanna watch a movie after this?
when we're done filming?
Yes. Wanna order some pizza? Because they do deliver here.
The show's about 20 minutes long, and it airs on the Monster Channel. And it also, after it airs on the Monster Channel, I load it up to my YouTube. All the old episodes can be found there. Well, the ultimate goal for the show, for Dr. Dread Reviews, I don't know. I think I've already achieved that goal. Since we've been doing this, me and my co-host, we have met so many really cool people, and they've become extended family to us. So I think that's goal achieved. If somebody watches our review and they smile, they chuckle, if they, comment on it on YouTube or message me and tell me, oh, I watched that movie you recommended, that's goal achieved. It's just making a connection with people. I think that would be my goal. That would be the goal of this show, is connecting with fellow horror enthusiasts. If I could meet an actress from a horror movie, from an iconic horror movie, who would it be and why? That's an excellent question. And I don't know why, but Lynn Shay pops in my head right away. She was in Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, and she played a school teacher. And she was in the classroom when Nancy fell asleep, if you remember the scene. But she's gone on to do the Insidious series, I think the first 3 movies. And she's been in several indies since then. I think she's a really neat, different character. She always plays a different character in her movies. And I'd just like to talk to her about her thoughts on horror movies and the movies that she's been in. So, probably Lynn Shay. If I could step into the shoes of a filmmaker and pick a horror villain that I can make a movie about, who would it be? That's a really tough question. I would probably have to go with it's either the House of Frankenstein or I think it's the House of Frankenstein. Boris Karloff played Dr. Gustav Niemann. And he was in prison for trying to put the brain of a human into the body of a dog. I think that would be a really fun character to... they never show that part of the movie. They show him escaping prison. And then he goes on to revive Dracula and then revive the Frankenstein monster. But I think it would be fun to go back and do a prequel leading up to the moment where Dr. Gustav Niemann got caught for crimes against humanity. That would be a fun movie. Of course, it would have to be in black and white. Yeah, sure. How can people find me and watch me? Well, it's as simple as going up to your Google search, put in hashtag Dr. Dread Reviews. Now that's doctor as abbreviated, so it would be hashtag DREADREVIEWS. Dr. Dread Reviews. or go on YouTube, and it would be at Doc Dread, DOCDREAD. And on YouTube, you'll find my reviews, you'll find Swamp Theater and Doc's Trailer Park. Jacob, thanks a lot for having me on your show. I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to meeting some new people. Your friend, Dr. Dread, reminding you, as always, my friends, keep it scary.